In this video, I want to give you my analysis of The Boating Party by Mary Cassatt, painted in 1893 and 1894. It's at the National Gallery in Washington, D.C. This is part one of two parts of my analysis of The Boating Party by Mary Cassatt. And in this part, I'm going to show you how she multi-referenced the artist Pierre-August Renoir. And in part two, I'll show you how she multi-referenced another artist in the same painting. Now, not to be dogmatic, this is only my opinion. This is not in any books, yet I still believe it to be true. I created the term multi-referencing, in this case to mean taking small parts from several works of art by another artist and incorporating it into a single artwork. In this video, I'm going to show you some of the references that Mary Cassatt used for The Boating Party, but I do believe that she intended to reference all of Renoir's artwork, so I'm just showing you a small part of them here. The website Wikimedia Commons is an excellent place to look for many works of art by many artists, including Renoir. This first example that I want to show you of Cassatt referencing Renoir is his painting Luncheon of the Boating Party, which Renoir painted in 1880 and 1881. It's at the Phillips Collection in Washington, D.C. Mary Cassatt used a similar title in her own painting as an obvious hint that she was multi-referencing Renoir. Artists would often put in what I call a big breadcrumb as an obvious clue to the viewer about certain artists who are being multi-referenced in an artwork. In Luncheon of the Boating Party, the pink stripes on the awning at the top of Renoir's painting is repeated in the pink stripe design of the child's clothing in Mary Cassatt's painting. Renoir's woman leaning on the rail in the back has her left arm in a mirror image as the woman in Cassatt's painting. Next, we'll look at Renoir's Portrait of Lucy Berard, Little Girl with a White Apron, painted in 1884. It's at the Palazzo Ruspoli in Rome. Lucy's face has the same angle of view as the woman in The Boating Party. Lucy's black collar has the curved upper edge like the line on the lower edge of the sash of Cassatt's rower. The curved lower edge of Lucy's black collar is repeated in the curve of the lower edge of the rear end of the rower in The Boating Party. The top of Lucy's collar has a white curved line which is referenced by the white curve of the edge of Mary Cassatt's boat. And the final reference that I see here is Lucy's white shirt has a white rectangle in the upper left by the collar, much like the rectangle of the white oar on the left edge of Cassatt's painting. Now looking at where I believe Mary Cassatt referenced Portrait of Victor Choquet by Renoir, it's at the Winterthur in Switzerland. Victor Choquet has his head and face at the same angle of view as the woman in The Boating Party, and both mouths are shut. The gold-yellow curve of Renoir's chair is referenced by the yellow curve of the left side of Cassatt's boat. The purple curve on Victor's chair just above his right shoulder is similar to the red curve on the right shoulder and arm of the child in The Boating Party. Renoir painted a dark blue sleeve on Victor's left arm, and Cassatt painted a dark blue sleeve on the rowing man. Victor's white shirt is open at the front with bared skin on his chest behind it, and the woman in The Boating Party has a gap in the front of her white collar with the skin of her neck behind it. Next, looking at Renoir's In the Jardin de Luxembourg, painted around 1887, it's in a private collection. Renoir's woman on the right edge is leaning against a tree facing to the left and wears a dark blue hat, like the man rowing the boat facing to the left in The Boating Party. The young girl with the round hoop wears almost the same color and style of socks as the child in Mary Cassatt's painting. The bright yellow curve of the hoop in the Renoir painting is referenced by the yellow curve of bright yellow on the left side of Cassatt's boat. Renoir's woman standing behind the girl with the hoop wears a colorful hat and has almost the same angle of view as the woman in The Boating Party, who is also wearing a colorful hat. Renoir's same woman standing behind the hoop girl has her right arm extended out with a long blue sleeve, like the rowing man's extended left arm with a long blue sleeve in the boating party. The child sitting in the lower left corner has his right foot extended forward with his dark shoe pointed up at the toes, much like Cassatt painted the right extended foot of the man rowing the boat. This connection has the possibility of interpreting the rowing man as being childish. The brown trunk of the tree in the upper left corner of the Jardin du Luxembourg is like the wooden peg attached to the left oar in the boating party, with the peg in much smaller scale. References can be in any scale in my observations. And here we're looking at Portrait of Madame Iscovesco, painted in 1877 by Renoir. It's at the Ordrup Gard Museum near Copenhagen in Denmark. Madame Iscovesco has her face in a mirror image of the woman in the boating party, and both women look alike. They could be the same person. Also, both women have similar white shirt collar shapes on the viewer's right side. Painting someone who looks like the same person is a good way to reference another painting. This is Female Nude, painted in 1880 by Renoir. It's at the Musée Rodin in Paris. Renoir's nude woman has chubby cheeks with red blushing like the child in the boating party. Renoir's nude woman also has her face at the same angle of view as the mother in the boating party. Renoir's woman has her right arm slightly bent with her right hand and fingers palm down, like the right bent arm with the right hand and fingers palm down of Mary Cassatt's painting of the child. The curved line of green on one side and yellow on the other in Renoir's painting, just to the left of the woman's head, is referenced by the curved lines with yellow on one side and green on the other in the woman's hat in the boating party. This is After the Luncheon, painted in 1879 by Renoir. It's at the Stadel Museum in Frankfurt. Renoir's woman in white stares wistfully at the gentleman lighting his cigarette. This woman in white has the same angle of view with love in her eyes looking at the man, just like Cassatt's woman in the boating party. The man's cigarette is referenced by the white part of Cassatt's oar painted at the same angle as the cigarette. Renoir's man lighting the cigarette has an obtuse angle of his dark suit and his dark right sleeve, and the boating party paints a similar angle and color with the man's shirt on the left side of his back and left arm. The yellow curve of the edge of the ashtray in After the Luncheon is like the yellow curve on the left side of the boat in the boating party, which also referenced the yellow curved hoop in a previous painting. Renoir's woman in black has a curve in her hat on the right-hand side, like Cassatt's rower has a dark hat with a similar curve on the right-hand side. Renoir's woman in black has a dark mitten on her left hand, which is a similar shape and color and location in the painting as the dark-colored right shoe of the rower in the boating party. It is a common technique to reference an item in the same location of the picture as the item being referenced. Renoir's white hat with the curved yellow brim is referenced with the curved yellow of the boat next to the white hull of the boat on the left side of the boating party. The curve of the hat brim is seen on both Renoir's woman in white and Cassatt's woman. This is Portrait of Gabrielle, painted by Renoir around 1890. It's at the Sir Kenneth Clark collection in London. Gabrielle has the same angle of view of her face with similar dark eyes and hair as the woman in the boating party. Gabrielle's white collar is also referenced by the white collar on Mary Cassatt's woman. This is Portrait of Charles and Georges Durand Ruel, painted by Renoir in 1882. It's in the private collection. Charles has almost the same angle of view of the face as the woman in the boating party. They look like they could be brother and sister. Georges Durand Ruel holds a white cigarette in a yellow cigarette holder at a similar angle, shape, and colors as the white and yellow oar in Cassatt's painting. This is Les Canotiers, in English The Boaters, painted around 1881 by Renoir. It's at the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston. Mary Cassatt referenced the title, the subjects of A Man and the Woman, and the theme of love, as well as boating. Renoir's woman and man face each other at the same angle of view of the man and woman in Cassatt's painting. This is L'Amoureux, The Lovers, painted in 1875 by Renoir. It's at the National Gallery in Prague. Like the previous Renoir painting referenced by Mary Cassatt, The Lovers features a man and woman in love. The lover's man faces to the left towards his woman like the man in the boating party. Renoir's woman has her right arm in a similar position and angle of view as the woman's right arm in the boating party. Renoir painted dark green leaves in front of a yellow background, and Mary Cassatt's painted dark green leaf shapes with a yellow background on her hat. This is La Yole, if I pronounce it right, the skiff, painted around 1875 by Renoir. It's at the National Gallery in London. Here Mary Cassatt referenced the subject matter of people on a rowboat. In my experience, to reference the subject matter is enough if you're trying to reference all of an artist's work. Once you've referenced the subject matter, you can move on to the next work of art. Although we also see another possible reference of a horizontal white line on the shores of both paintings. It's also curious that both paintings only show one oar. And the final reference I'm going to show you in this video is a self-portrait by Renoir, painted in 1875. It's at the Clark Art Institute in Williamstown, Massachusetts, USA. Again, Renoir's face is seen at the same angle of view as the woman in the boating party. There are so many Renoir paintings that have people that face this direction with this angle of view that if you see a person with this angle of view painted after Renoir, you might look to see if Renoir is being referenced. In the self-portrait, Renoir's collar shows lines of blue next to lines of yellow, which is also seen in Mary Cassatt's painting using the same hues of blue and yellow in the boat and water behind it. I suspect that many self-portraits multi-reference the artist's own previous artworks. I didn't check for this here, but know that I believe that the majority of museum-collected artists use the multi-reference technique in all of their art, except, of course, a Jackson Pollock splash painting, which is sort of a multi-reference of Pollock's own previous splash paintings. Artists would frequently multi-reference more than one artist in an artwork, and Mary Cassatt with the boating party also multi-referenced the 19th century German artist Caspar David Friedrich, and I will show you some examples of this in part 2 of my analysis of the boating party in another video. I also have a newsletter where I talk about tools for creating and understanding master art. I hope you subscribe. Thank you for watching. I also have a newsletter where I talk about tools for creating and understanding master art. I hope you subscribe. Thank you for watching.